What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Uchi back again one more time. Wow, I totally messed up my own intro, but that's okay because we are here, all of us this time, for this week's episode of the Minicast for Lupinranger versus Patranger. And this episode is going to be a special one because we're going to be doing 2-in-1 since we skipped out on uploading a new episode for you guys. So we apologize for that if you guys were looking forward to that. So here we are back in once again. I am joined by HouseTop, QT-PYE, and Tempestt, the truest of all sexual chocolate. Tempestt back again. Once again, we missed you. What?
Back in once again, one more time.
Yeah, we missed Tempestt for the last one, scheduling conflictions and all that stupid stuff. But it's okay. We're here now, and we're here to talk about episode 6 of Lupinranger vs. Patranger real fast. And of course, like I said, it's going to be a special episode considering that we're going to be, for the first time, doing 2-in-1 for you guys. So we don't, get out of continuity here for the channel's sake. We got episode 6 and 7. So first off, episode 6. Like always, guys, I want to hear your good and bad and what you're looking forward to. Any kind of predictions, starting with Mr. HouseTop.
Alright. Good and bad. I didn't see any bad. This is all pretty good. I really liked how there's more fighting between the Rangers, but it's coming to a head almost at this point, especially with the Reds, with Kaito Red figuring out more about Lupin Red and trying to figure out who are you, and how he's I think he's realizing that they're not the bad guys and that they're just fighting for a different cause. I really liked all the fights they had in this episode, actually. And the new music, slay me. It was so good. Destra was a pretty good enemy. I think that, not Destra, oh my goodness. What was the guy's name?
Bundle.
Bundle, yeah. Bundle was actually a pretty good enemy, especially since he lasted, 2 episodes now? He was in last episode, and this episode he did pretty good. I enjoyed his character a little bit. Yeah, and we got to see the ice guy who caused all the trouble that what caused the Lupinrangers to become Lupinrangers. We finally got to see his face and a little bit more about him, but haven't learned too much about him. So, pretty happy with that episode overall. Really excited to see what we got next.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely agree with you on all of that. QT-PYE, let me know what you thought about this week's episode.
I really liked this episode. My favorite thing about this episode was seeing the Red Ranger on Patranger side struggle with his personal duty as a policeman and his ambitions and just things that he wants to pursue personally, especially with the Lupinrangers affecting his work so much. And I thought that was really cool, how he was reminded of his duty and what originally motivated him. I really liked that moment in this episode, relative to Disappear, because the last time we saw him was in a really, really brief flashback in the first or second episode. But I don't have any dislikes about this episode. I'm just kind of excited for the next one.
Agreed. Tempestt, how about you?
I like the episode, even though the red Patranger is supposed to be the leader. Honestly, the pink one is more of a leader than he is, at least from my observations.
Okay.
And then the red Lupinranger, it feels like if they all come together, he's definitely the leader, because he's got the most under control of what he wants to do. Even when he's out of control, he's still kind of in control. He understands what his purpose is.
Right.
And he did form a little bit of respect for the red Patranger, but obviously the red Lupinranger is, as I said after watching the last episode, which obviously I wasn't here for the actor thing, but I feel like as far as ability is concerned, he is the top of the food chain right now, at least until they bring in the other Rangers. But I have a feeling they're probably he'll be the overall leader in the end. Other than that, I don't really need to say anything too different than what everybody else has said, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, this week's episode had me feeling like this was one of those episodes that's very hard to nitpick anything bad from it, because we got a lot of good and we got a lot of Patranger time, which is something that I think all of us had predicted from the previous episode, that pretty soon they were obviously going to have to give the Patrangers a little bit more screen time, considering that the direction and how they're pushing this show right now is that they're making us really love the Lupinrangers. They're giving us all of the cool Lupinranger stuff. They have what seems to be so far the better version of the theme song, because in this episode we learned that there's actually an alternate version that is more Patranger than anything else. And that sounded really funky. It was really good. It felt like it was one of those songs that you would expect to see or play in like a Dance Dance Revolution or an Osu music rhythm game, something like that. And it's like they get all the cool camera shots and the fight scenes, even like they're just really making us love the Lupinrangers, which they're doing a fabulous job in. Every week we're like, man, they're so cool. Like, we say it every single week, right on cue. Like, you know, it's the first time we're seeing them on the screen. So again, like, really good job with, you know, how they want us to see both sides. And with this episode, I really loved how they're making us, you know, feel more towards the Patrangers this time around, especially seeing a slight background on Keiichiro, who is the Pato Red. And the Pink Ranger, her name is Tsukasa. She was, like Tempestt was saying, is acting more of the passive leader in this situation. I mean, obviously Red is always a leader in the majority, like 98% of Power Ranger seasons or Super Sentai. But it's not unlikely to see Pink step up. We've seen it in Time Ranger, and we've seen it in Time Force. For those that don't know the Japanese equivalent, Time Ranger, the Time Pink, she actually held up the leader role for a little bit until they figured out, like, okay, like, this is our Red or whatever. Even still, she still had like a lot of lead command and stuff like that. So it was nice to see her literally smack some sense into Keiichiro. I thought that was a really cool scene. And I'm glad that we got to see Zamigo, who is the ice guy that we were mentioning all before. He seems really cool hairstyle, cool gear. A lot of cool, you know, because he's cold. Anyway, looking forward to seeing more about him. He was eating ice like it was a cookie. That was kind of funny too. Other than that, kind of back to what HouseTop was saying, what really solidified this episode as like a aha moment was when he looked at a picture of the Lupinrangers and he was kind of second guessing, are they actually bad? Are they actually thieves? And that is gonna be one of those reoccurring situations for both sides, you know, especially for the Patrangers, because they're the police force and they're trying to, you know, make sure that everything abides by the laws and whatnot, justice, all that good stuff. So again, episode 6, really good episode. Nothing bad about this one. As far as the Megazord part went, the Lupinrangers had that time, considering, you know, Patrangers did have most of the screen time. So it makes sense. They're good normally with alternating when it comes to that kind of stuff. So with that being said, now we're gonna head right into episode 7. So we'll catch you in about 2 seconds. Alright, we're back for the episode 7 portion of this episode. So again, pretty good episode, and we're just gonna go run it down from top to bottom. HouseTop, QT-PYE, and Tempestt. So, starting with HouseTop, what's good with episode 7, my guy?
Everything was good about this episode. We got Vor, we got Triggered, we got some really good growth on Lumika's part, just seeing her overcome the events that led her to becoming the Ranger is actually pretty cool. And the little scene she had with what's his face was pretty cool too. No. The old guy. Yeah. When they were in the little cafe, and he was like, you know, there's pretty much like a remember why you did this, like you're there to help people and save your friend, everything like that. And seeing her backstory with her friend and how she was a mangaka and her friend got killed.
That was godlike.
That was amazing, dude. I'm glad that they finally gave her some more backstory. I wasn't like asking for it, but I kind of think it was in the back of my mind that I would have liked to see some. So that was pretty cool. And just seeing them all interact some more, and then at the end with Tsukasa, seeing them in their masquerade outfits, I'm like, bruh. And then the debut of the new Zord, or was that? Oh, that was last episode. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty good all around. I really enjoyed it.
You were right. It was a debut for the Patrangers.
Yeah.
Adding the cycle.
Yeah.
Not the cycle, the bike.
Yeah.
That was this episode. Last episode was Lupinranger for the.
Yeah. Okay, so it was with they're in the fight when they launched the bike up the John's tongue and like him in the face. That was sick.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, like I really like how I feel like the Zord fights have been getting progressively better, and they're showing more of what they can do in like a creative sense, which is pretty cool. So I'm pretty happy with how they're moving.
Definitely. I like, yeah. QT-PYE, what about you? What did you think about episode 7?
So, for episode 7, I think it was a really good episode. We got lots of, like, new information. I like seeing some insight into, like, Yellow Lupinranger's backstory. And I really like the villain this week because I think his powers were kind of interesting, how his stomach like ate people and his digestive fluids were like mist. They were in like a weird like shadow realm. That was pretty cool. I liked seeing her quick wit with like figuring out how to save everyone and what to do when she's on her own, especially with her being conflicted in the past, and always feeling like she always needed to be saved. That's kind of sketched out by Kagure saying what he said about the Versus vehicles being really important when she was like concerned about the others' well-being. I don't know. I feel kind of iffy about him right now. Like,
yeah, he's being mad sus.
Yeah, it seems like the mission to get the collection pieces back is like the only thing he cares about. And it's kind of makes me feel like he's not gonna keep his word in the future, but I don't know yet. And I thought the Zord fight was pretty cool too. No dislikes this week. For the next episode, the preview, and with how it ended with this episode, it kind of showed the Pink Ranger possibly figuring out who they were and like kind of piecing that together. I feel like for the next episode, I feel like they won't reveal their identities because we're only at episode 7, and it seems easier for the story to progress if the Lupinrangers can still act in secret. So I'm kind of wondering how they're going to handle that.
Great. Yeah, really good points. Yeah, that's definitely all true. Tempestt was good.
Like the episode. I like how it showed that Yellow could be like more resourceful because she seemed to be the happy-go-lucky one of the group, and when her back was against the wall, she was extremely resourceful as far as how she was able to save everybody and get the Lupin collection piece. So I thought that was cool. As always, when it comes to the Patrangers, I really feel like Pink is the MVP. I think it'll probably wind up staying that way. I feel like at some point in the future, just because of general storytelling wise, they're gonna have her doubt herself at some point. But right now, like I had said before we started, like I think the name of the episode is gonna be misleading, and the Lupin Rangers are gonna find a way to throw off the Pyro Rangers, thinking that they're actually the Lupin Rangers. So they'll be that. You know, I like the episode, so nothing really bad to say about it.
All right, yeah. Again, they really did a good job following up after episode 6. I actually thought, just by judging from the preview for episode 7 during episode 6, that they were gonna have some kind of difficulty following that, being that episode 6 was like really good and like they kind of had to like tune it down a little bit, but still found its way to become just as enjoyable, but in different ways. Which, man, this show is really good. I really liked the Green Ranger's persistence for the Yellow Ranger. Obviously not in their suit forms, but like in their regular civilian attire and whatnot. He's really into her, and by the end of the episode, he's like, you know, falling more in love with her, which is kind of cool to see. It's really funny. I'm sure that will play some kind of role later down the line on this show. We'll probably see some cool little like sacrificing moves of the green once he knows and realizes that the yellow Lupin Ranger is in fact Umika. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. At first I also thought that this episode was going to be about how the yellow Lupin Ranger couldn't really do anything for herself, and that's why she had like that backstory segment with, you know, her calling back her memories from when her friend was, you know, frozen, which led her to become Lupin Yellow. Obviously, HouseTop was mentioning that earlier, and we did peep a new code. Now I will bring that up as maybe my not bad thing, but maybe confusing part. But again, HouseTop did bring up a good point. He said that maybe it's a code specific for her, because naturally we're used to seeing Red lead the roll call with the 121, I think it is.
010.
Oh, 010. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was off by a number. Yeah, 010. Okay, so this time Lupin Yellow goes 116, and we're all like,
they had swords when she did it too.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll have to kind of wait and see exactly if there is a distinctive difference, or if that's either a coincidence, or there is something different with each code that grants them their morph, and maybe it does bring about something else additional with their morph. Who knows? But then we got to see a new code, 319, the Cyclone Finisher, reminiscent of the Rasen Shuriken, brought to you by your boy Naruto. That was a really cool finishing touch. And then we also got to see the debut of the Pato Kaiser, which is the Patrangers version of their Megazord with the bike extension, and it looked really good, and it acted kind of like a ball and chain almost, except the ball in this case was the tire, and the chain was, you know, whatever was holding the wheel. That was really cool. And then one thing I did want to bring up before I wrap up my thoughts is what QT-PYE brought up with Kagure only really caring about the Zords, kind of making him feel very sus and like he has an ulterior motive, which then ties to what Tempestt brought up in the last episode, Minicast. Well, not last episode, but you know what I'm saying, earlier in this episode, saying that he might end up being the Arsène Lupin, and this Kogure person that we are seeing now might end up being a disguise. And I think that adding both of you guys' opinions and speculation on the matter, I think that we're all onto something, figuring out, like, you know, the exact, you know, purpose and reasoning behind a lot of what's going on right now. And for some reason, he is in this form, or he's in this disguise, however you want to call it, and he's using the Lupin Rangers to do his dirty work in getting all the collection pieces. And maybe once all those pieces are gathered, he will emerge and remove his, you know, his Kogure form, and he will actually end up being Arsene Lupin, and then he might just say, all right, I don't need you guys anymore. And then there's you know, more conflict at that point in time. So we'll see if that actually ends up happening at that point in time. I feel like that might, you know, it seems to make a little bit more sense if you piece it that way, but we'll obviously have to see once we get around to that point. But either way, another good episode. Not really anything bad on from me. I mean, I can get, unless you want to really nitpick, and I don't know why I took Lupin Yellow Umika so long to change into her Lupin outfit, not the suit but the outfit prior to her. Yeah, I think that it was I mean, it seemed like she was dragging, but also you could always argue like, oh well, she was just trying to attack when necessary at the right time so that she could take that collection out of the evil guy they were fighting at the time in the woods. So it probably was a part of the plan, I'm sure. So she pretty much used the Patrangers to basically get what she wanted, so that way she could save everyone. And then obviously that led into that whole, you know, added moment that they, you know, again, another example of the Lupinrangers saving people. So the question remains, are they bad? Are they actually thieves? And then, oh, I guess I can't forget about this important part where at the end of the episode, Lupin Pink, I'm sorry, not Pink, Patranger Pink, Tsukasa, she noticed a familiar, I guess, familiarity between the Kairi and Umika, and she noticed the same mannerism. She noticed the same mannerism with when she saw them in their Lupinranger forms doing the same thing. So she's starting to catch on, which is leading into next week's episode 8, which I forget the exact title, but it's the Lupinranger Disguises, I believe it is. Something along those lines. Identities, there it is. So we'll see what happens with that. That's basically your mini cast for this week, unless you guys have anything else you'd like to add, say, mention.
Nah, I don't want to do too much speculation.
Right.
I just want to shout out the Uchi Sentai Gaming Rangers for having a great podcast.
Are we actually going with that?
There for that? I think Tempestt missed that.
It was in the comments section. Someone agreed that they liked the possible name of this team that we have right now.
Uchi Sentai Gaming Ranger.
That'd be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, but that would mean we would need a 5th person.
Lelouch.
I'm not sure if I want him on this mini cast yet. He's a little.
Let's get brother.
He's a little bit too excited and young for something like this. Brother Uch, he's whack, but you know he won't give this kind of show a chance just because that's how he is. But in any case, we'll figure that out once we get to that point in time. Right now, Uchi Sentai Game Ranger will be a 4-person squad in fashion. So again, check us out on Twitter. Links will be in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the Minicast. We'll definitely be back once again for episode 8. This has been Uchi signing off with HouseTop, QT-PYE, and Tempestt, and we will see y'all next time.